What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY and the overall markets. I'm going to break down what's going on with earnings as Tesla absolutely killed it. And the share price is currently up over 12% at the time of recording this. So the question is, what's going to happen to Tesla now? What's going to happen to the markets? I'm going to give you guys all the answers as there's some upside potential for the market for tomorrow. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Weeble link. If you deposit any amounts of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 in total. And deposit $2,000 or more, and you're guaranteed 40. The offer ends very soon, in just about 8 days from now. Anyways, now let's talk about Tesla. So Tesla's up about 12.02% right now at the time I'm recording this, back at these high levels. Please remember, in my video, I gave you guys a warning and I said, look, technically Tesla was a little bit more bearish as you're making lower highs and lower lows, but do not solely depend on technicals when it comes to earnings. I give you guys a big warning about that. I said if you're holding shorts or longs, be careful, because if Tesla crushed it, we're easily going up to the 230s, if not 240. I said if Tesla did poorly and we ended up seeing the share price dumping, if Tesla did not give us that wow factor, Tesla could have easily dumped all the way down towards the 190s, 200 to 190s. So overall, what happened was we ended up doing the opposite of that. We saw buyers step in as Tesla gave us a lot of exciting news. And I want to break down what that news was in just a minute. Just know this. What's interesting about the markets is that we dumped really hard today, but then towards the last couple of hours, we saw buyers returning, and then we saw SPY even push. It's kind of green in the after hours. Same thing with the QQQ. So what's happening is Tesla's going to be used as the excuse and the reason by these institutions to start buying up the markets. And then they're essentially doing the same thing. So with Tesla leading the way up, there's a good chance the market's going to follow the trend. And this is not starting with Tesla. This was actually happening before Tesla's earnings. They already started buying up the markets. Now it's going to continue this trend most likely as long as we break some key levels. So once again, I'll talk about Tesla's share price and the share prices for SPY and the others in just a couple of minutes. I first want to talk about what happened with Tesla's earnings. So bullish news. Tesla's revenue is at $25.18 billion versus an expectation of $25.43 billion. So we actually came a little bit short on revenue, which is not that bad because other factors mattered even more. Their EPS was a beat at 72 cents above the 60-cent estimation. So that's nice news. Gross margins were at 20% versus 16.8%. That's also good news for us. That's why the share price is up, or one of the reasons. Now, I'm not going to go over all the details, but just know that our operating income saw a nice increase to about 2.7 billion. This is a nice increase for Q3. Overall, not bad whatsoever. They delivered a strong amount of results for Q3, and we're expecting something strong as well for Q4. Margins improved because their cost of goods sold came down to its lowest level ever at about $35,000. So that's bullish news, the lowest level ever for their cost of goods sold. Bullish news, in my personal opinion. On top of this, they gave us more preparations for the new vehicles, which they're going to be launching next year. The first half of next year, they should be launching their Cybercab, but they're not going to start volume production for a while, until like 2026, most likely, maybe even later, depending on their dates. I know Musk is sometimes early when it comes to his date estimations, but right now that doesn't matter because the investors are very hyped right now. They're very excited about this. And then on top of this, their energy business did another strong quarter, once again with good margins. Very, very bullish news, especially as they're expanding to Japan and other areas. And they're once again ramping up the Powerwall 3. And that's despite macroeconomic headwinds and other factors kind of pulling back EV investments. They're still doing relatively well as they're focused on AI development. So there's more details here. I'm not going to go over everything else, but I do want to talk about the fact that they claim that the Cybertruck has achieved profitability, which is very, very bullish news. People were saying the Cybertruck was going to be a flop and Tesla killed it. The Cybertruck is now profitable. Very, very awesome in my opinion. Looking at their growth, we're seeing some nice growth, especially in China. We saw some strong numbers. The US also had some pretty strong numbers, but European sales were a little bit slow, which is still okay because there's a lot of macroeconomic factors affecting them, and they're still offsetting that with Chinese sales. AI growth is continuing. We're seeing a lot of great developments. We have some good photos right over here about how the Chinese market is just so massive. And then you guys can see how the robotaxi is once again going to continue to grow and then help reduce carbon emissions. Essentially, this is what a picture of it would look like. Very cool looking doors, very, very cool looking trunk as well. So awesome stuff. And then this is what the robo van looked like as well. So I have a picture right over there. And these are just some cool pictures. I'm not going to go over all the details. I will talk about this in just a second. Now let's talk about this news right here. So nice growth, beat on EPS, but not on revenue. But that's still okay. Margins were improving a lot. Then we have their total revenue. You guys can see the different sectors that make up their revenue. The majority of the revenue comes from automotive revenue, but then we're seeing that energy storage is now still a big part of their revenue. It's still made up many billion, which is similar to what we saw in Q2. And then services and other pieces of data are also going up. This helped revenue because of the fact that their FSD is getting a lot of sales. So not bad whatsoever. This is for the quarter, just for revenue alone. You guys can see very similar to what we saw before, and not that far from the all-time highs. We're still seeing some nice growth. They're also developing the Cybercab. Musk mentioned that it should reach volume production in 2026, not just the start of production. So that's bullish news. And they're aiming for 2 million Cybercabs per year. So very, very bullish. I know Musk is not always right with the dates, but the investors are hyped up by that. So that was a big wow factor, not to mention the fact that the Cybertruck was said to be profitable. So lots of wow factors for Tesla, in my personal opinion. Some more details. They produced their 7 millionth vehicle at the Fremont factory, very bullish. The new vehicle should be launching early next year in the first half of 2025. Then volume production should be coming to 2026, according to Musk. Nice achievements include the fact that they had the Model Y as the best selling vehicle in many European countries, from Sweden to the Netherlands and beyond. AI is continuing to develop as they're stacking their new parameters, and then they're continuing to increase their technologies for improved safety mechanisms for AI. And they're also talking about Optimus, which is once again another very bullish catalyst for the long term. Once again, awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. This was also bullish for Tesla stock. Tesla's predicting a record Q4. They're saying that Q4 is going to be very strong. That is very bullish, makes people very excited because people were saying that Tesla sales are going to be very weak, especially for the end of the year. But now they're telling us that we're going to be expecting some strong numbers for Q4. So very awesome stuff. I think Musk was also talking about 2025 having a lot of potential. I think I had the transcript somewhere here. Before I talk about that, we also have this news. Musk was saying that they're finalizing the design for the Roadster. The Roadster is a monster, so it's going to be very cool. And then right over here, guys, this is what I was talking about. Musk was reiterating that in early 2025, they've delivered targets for the new affordable Tesla vehicles. And then he's estimating a 20 to 30% vehicle growth in 2025. Bullish news. Once again, guys, very, very awesome stuff. So it's awesome. The future is very bright. There's more details. I'm not going to go over every single detail, but I went over the bulk majority of what's very important here. The fact that they are working on AGI and they're trying to make autonomous cars and robots, according to Musk. AI is a broad spectrum. That's why they have different components developing different parts of AI. It's not like Tesla's just all in on it. It's more like they have like XAI developing one part of AI, Tesla's working on other parts, and then together it's going to make things a lot easier for autonomous driving to be feasible, right? Because you're working together and developing different components. Besides that, bullish news. It was all bullish, very, very awesome in my personal opinion. I know that people may not believe Elon Musk's dates, and a lot of people may even say some things are BS. Whatever you want to say, it's fine. At the end of the day, the share price is up. Tesla got a lot of victories, and I think that this was more of a victory than a failure for Tesla, and it's very, very exciting news. Anyways, for more news about the broader markets, I'm just going to talk about this real quick before I talk about the charts. Tomorrow is going to be Thursday, October 24th, 2024. Do not forget that at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 15 minutes after the market opens, we have the S&P Global Composite PMI, Manufacturing PMI, and Services PMI. Well, before open, we also have initial jobless claims, which is kind of minor. The main thing is going to be at 15 minutes after market open for some volatility. Besides that, it's just a bunch of bill locks, just nothing too crazy. Tesla and IBM did well. Tesla did really well with their earnings. I'm not going to talk about IBM for this one. We have American Airlines, UPS, and Southwest announcing earnings tomorrow. We have Dexcom and a few others after market close. Anyways, that is it, at least from my analysis of Tesla's earnings. So huge congratulations to the entire Tesla team. Elon Musk and the team did very well. I'm just very proud of them. I can't wait to see what else the future holds. So with that being said, let's talk about what's happening with the share price. So if Tesla loses support right over here around this 234 area, we could be dipping back down to 228. As long as we hold above at least 235, I do anticipate 240 is coming. And then if we break that, we're looking for 244 as our next potential target, followed by the 250 zone or very close to 250. Right now, Tesla is like a train. It has so much size, momentum from a big move like this that it may continue to try to push tomorrow. The 240s are not out of the table, and we might be looking for these highs to break. Tesla did a great job at earnings, squeezing shorts. I gave everyone a warning that, look, if you're holding anything overnight, be careful because unexpected things could happen. And Tesla blew many investors away with their report. So very bullish news. Tesla is going to be hitting the 240 area very soon, eventually 244 if that breaks. And this may lead to a lot of momentum that causes upside for SPY and the others. Just want to make that very clear. One more thing about Tesla on the daily time frame, right over here. We are technically we're back right over here filling this gap. So Tesla is now trying to reclaim this support. We also have another gap up here in the 258 area, so just keep that in mind. We're doing a good job at holding up. Tesla's once again filling these gaps, so looking pretty good. So let me do a speed run for the rest of these. I know I'm running out of time. For SPY, we dipped really hard, but then we saw buyers defend it. So if we lose 577 tomorrow, look for 575. As long as we hold above 578, we're looking for 579.35 as our target, the 50 EMA. Break the 579s, and we easily go up to 582 as our potential targets. My gut is telling me we're most likely going back above 580 as Tesla was the big catalyst, not to mention the fact that the market was already getting bought back up. And I think there's a good chance that we continue to pump. So we're going to be looking for basically an attempt to pump higher all the way up towards 580 plus tomorrow. I think that's the most likely case for SPY, but make sure you watch the levels I called out just to be safe. For others out there, we also have ES trying to push nicely. If we were to lose 58.40, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to 58.20. We dipped down to 5800 only to get bought back up. So this is favoring 58.50 to be tested, then 58.60 above that. I think ES is going to try to push to the 58.50s very soon, so we look more bullish. So look for more potential upside. For NQ, sorry, not NQ, Nvda. I'll talk about NQ in just a few minutes. Nvda looks more bullish. We dumped all the way down to 137.5 only to get bought back up. If we lose 138, look for an attempt to get back down to the lows of the day. As long as we're above 140, we're going to be looking for a rebound for 142. As of right now, it's trying to hold 140, especially after Tesla's earnings. So I think 142 is on the table, and Nvidia is going to attempt to rebound as the most likely case. Bitcoin's also trying to bounce as long as we don't lose 66,000 flats. If we do lose that, we're looking for 65,750 is our target. As long as we're above 66,000, we're looking for an attempt to get up to 66,900 or 67,000 flat as the most likely case. For other factors out there, we also have, just to double check this NQ. If NQ were to lose 20,200, we could be dipping back down to 20,000. As long as we're above that, we're favoring a move back up towards the previous support becoming resistance at 20,350. So I think 20,350 is likely coming for a nice bounce. So watch to see if that ends up being the case. For the QQQ, as long as we don't lose, 488, this is favoring a push for 491.5. I find that's to be the most likely case, at least for where this is going. So we're going to be looking for an attempt to get all the way back up to those levels, up to those highs. So make sure you watch the support I called out, and just know there's a very, very good chance this will attempt to push higher. I think that we could be looking for 491.5 to 492 plus as our next potential target. For Aapl, as long as we don't lose 230, this is favoring a rebound for 231.7 and eventually these higher levels. So look for a dip to 230, maybe a little bit lower. Then we'll see if we rebound back up towards 231.7. But there's a very good chance we attempt to do so. For Netflix, we're dipping a bit. We'll have to see if 750 holds. If we lose 750, we're looking for a dip back down towards the 740 area. And if we hold above 750, we're looking for a push back up towards 760. I think that as long as we hold 750, we will attempt to get up to 760 again. So there might be a small bounce on Netflix, but that depends if we hold our support. For CELH or Celsius, we're actually on a bit of a downtrend right now. It could dip a little bit lower to 30, and we'll see if we bounce off 30 to get back up to 31.5 or not. So look at 30 as our potential target, and we'll see how it ends up reacting from there. For Palantir, we're trying to rebound as long as we don't lose 42.6. I think the chart is favoring a bounce. If 42.6 fails us, we're going back down to 42 flat. My gut tells me it's going to be pushing for 43.5 or above towards 44 as the most likely case. So we'll see if that ends up being the case or not. For Supermicro, we're just range bound right now. If we end up losing 45, we're looking for a dip back down towards 44. And as long as we try to break past 46.5, we're looking for a rebound. My gut tells me this is going to try to be pushing for 46.5. So watch to see if Supermicro ends up doing that. That's going to be very pivotal. For Rivian, we have an attempt to test 10.37. If we break that, we're looking for the highest speed retest around 10.5. This rejection going to be dipping, but this is favoring a push for 10.5. For SoFi, we're trying to hold our 20 EMA at 10.27. If we lose that, we're going to be dipping, but this is favoring a bounce back up towards this resistance around 10.65. For the IWM, we're in a bit of a downtrend right now. I think it might be retesting this 218 area. If we hold this, we're looking for a bounce for 220 plus. Get back above 220, then I'm looking for 221.6. If we don't hold 218, we're looking for a retest of 217.8. And if that fails us, we turn bearish. My gut's telling me we're going to try to reclaim 220 for an attempt to bounce. So I hope that's the case. And I think it's very probable for the time being. AMD's on a bit of a downtrend, but it might attempt to rebound for 155. As long as we don't lose 153, I think 155 is most likely coming. For ARM, we're just trading sideways as long as we don't lose 142.8. This is favoring 148 as our potential target, holding its 200 EMA. For Coinbase, as long as we don't lose 196, I think the odds are favoring 205 to 206. So we might be looking for 206 to be tested as long as we bounce with Bitcoin, so long as we don't lose 196. For Amazon, as long as we don't lose 184.5, we should be attempting to rebound for basically 186 and 187.3. So I think the odds favor 187 as long as we don't lose 185. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. For Meta, we're looking for basically 562 as our support. If that fails us, we're looking for a dip back down towards 556. As long as we're above 563, we're looking for a rebound back up towards 570. I think Meta is going to most likely achieve that. For Microsoft, we're dipping right here. We could be testing 422. We'll see if we bounce off this or not. Look for a dip, then a bounce back up to 425. Google's going to be testing 165 most likely. If that breaks, we're looking for a bigger push. So we'll see if that ends up being the case as well. So DJT is once again pushing, looking bullish, hitting 36 as a potential target. The VIX pushed, formed a nice wick. If we don't hold above 19.29, I think that the VIX is going to end up dipping. And that could be because of the market bouncing. But if the VIX gets bought back up and holds above 19.29, then the VIX could attempt to rebound and the market may dip more. So watch for that very carefully. For the 10-year treasury yield, we're pushing very nicely. We'll see what it ends up doing. And then the dollar index is also pushing. These aren't really affecting the market much, but it could signify potential bigger moves to the downside later on down the line. As of right now, the bulls are stepping in. I think some more buyers will try to defend. We might see an attempt of a rebound in the broader markets. I think that Tesla is going to be used as a catalyst to do that. And I think that Tesla is going to most likely lead the way. So that's what my view is for the market for now. Anyways, I did give you guys a warning about this. I said, when it comes to earnings, you can't always depend on technicals. I know a lot of people are saying Tesla's going to crash, Tesla's going to fail. That was what most people were thinking, right? But instead, despite what technicals were showing us, I said to wait and see what happens with earnings, and earnings ended up going really well for Tesla. So, is there a lot of bias in the report? It's possible, sure. But I just wanted to say that even if we can't fully trust Elon Musk's dates, even if things don't go as planned, that doesn't matter right now. Because what matters is what Tesla is projecting their investors. That's the fact that they have an idea of a cybercab, which is very bullish for the long term. They have an idea of unveiling these new products, which are bullish. Their Cybertruck achieved profitability, and they're saying the next quarter is going to be very strong. So they're saying there's going to be good growth coming, and then also a 20 to 30% growth in vehicle sales for 2025. That's nice growth again and again, and that got investors very excited. So we have to accept the truth for what the fact of the matter is, that Tesla did well. They gave a lot of wows to investors, and that's what's helping the share price go up. I know a lot of people were not hoping that that would happen. A lot of people were trying to short Tesla, but it is what it is, guys. That's the reason why when you are playing earnings, sometimes it's like a gamble, and that's why you always want to manage risks. I'm not giving financial advice when I say that, but always manage risks and be very careful when it comes to what you do. And we will see how things end up going into tomorrow. So with that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day, night, or evening, wherever you guys are around the world. I will be back tomorrow morning before the market opens to talk about Tesla, where the share price is going, and also give you guys a pre-market update. Until then, thank you for listening, and peace out.